I am a utility mapping specialist.
A utility mapping specialist.
Information technology specialist.
Off-highway vehicle specialist.
I'm the mapping specialist right now.
As a utility mapping specialist, I'm working on this big project that just got started. So basically, me and my partner, Renee, are working together to create a database for all the utilities within the state park. So on a daily basis, that just looks like, it can look like us collecting data, or it can look like us reviewing that data for those parks. What Renee and I have done is we have taken a bunch of old documents that, for example, that we uploaded here. So kind of phase one was sifting through a bunch of documents, some from the 30s, as old as like 1938, I think was the oldest one. And then we'd open up one of these documents like here and basically try to match it up. So here's a septic system. We'd create that septic system in our application, and then we'd go out in the field and see if it's accurate or not.
A lot of what we do on a day-to-day basis is we go to a park and we collect the different utilities around the park, and we use this high precision GPS equipment, and we would just go to each utility and collect the location, and we would fill in any attributes we find for each utility, and then after field collection is done, we'd go back and review the data.
So ideally, a manager can go out there, check our application, and get all the data they need without ever having to go out in the field. So it saves them a bunch of time, saves them resources, saves them money.
Just makes the whole process so much faster than what we had before.
It's been a really cool way to learn database management, but also how to implement field work for data collection. I think those are the two skills I've gained the most, is how to implement a project and how to manage it.
My position is called Information Technology Specialist, or IT Specialist. And yeah, I've been working with Parks and Trails on various data projects. So the main one that I've been doing while I've been serving my terms with CCMI has been focusing on kind of doing a large data audit of the camping, lodging, and day use sites through the large management units that the state has. So those are things like state parks, state waysides, state rec areas, and state forests. There's a lot of moving pieces that go into what is actually at a site, things like picnic tables, fire rings, do you have electricity services, are you near the water, a lot of these different attributes that are important to the people who want to use these sites. They have to be verified, every so often. Things change, and getting people to go out and check these things on a consistent basis, they have other things to do. You can't expect them to be doing these things. When we have GIS, it allows us to okay, in 2016, we went out and checked, yes, this hand pump still works. Put it on the map, that's where it is. And then it comes and gets verified again in 2020 and again in 2024. These things, having that spatial way to see okay, we know that these hand pumps exist, where is it specifically, just makes the job so much easier, labeling how things are, coordinated with other facilities and things like that.
I personally like it because you're taking a lot of data from the field and then you're applying it to these GIS applications. And I find that so beneficial and useful within the field that we work in, because that's pretty much all of it comes down to, is communicating and then getting that work done with everybody. So utilizing the technology that we have now, we're able to create better maps, which will lead to better trail systems being made, which will lead to more people using trails, which will get more people out in the environment.
I think the way I use GIS is unique because I use it to make a design in the end. I'm less of the data manager and putting all the information into the database. I use all of the database information and attributes to make the maps in the end. It's been a fun time. I've made some fresh maps from scratch. We don't do that very often because we already have 700 maps. That's been my favorite part, and my maps end up in the public, so people can find them online. Sometimes they're printed as a sign. Sometimes they're handed out in the park. So it's cool to be making a product that actually gets seen by people, and it helps them find their way. This has been a very positive experience in my life. I'm would love to do another term, and I'm just very thankful that I found this position when I did at a time that I really needed like some guidance and career help.
I've really enjoyed my time here with the Corps. It's been, like I said, in a professional development side, it's been, I don't think there's anything that I could have done really that would have been more so developing me into being a professional in this industry.
You know, I think without my AmeriCorps experiences, I'd be in a very different position than I am today. And it's one that I don't think I'd be as happy in. So I'm very grateful for it. I
really liked that the Corps was kind of focused on learning as well as environmental stewardship. I really wanted to get my foot in the door and get some good field experience. It can be surprising what you can actually accomplish when you just have a good attitude and a good work ethic. And I certainly surprised myself on what I can accomplish.